Madrid have beaten Barcelona 2-1 in El Clasico at home at the Bernabeu. And all I have to say is thank you, Lamine Yamal. And I am not even being sarcastic. Thank you, Lamine Yamal. Because this was one of the most entertaining, one of the spiciest, one of the most drama-filled El Clasicos in a minute. In a minute, you could just tell, you could fully tell that the Real Madrid players had in their mind what this guy said a couple days ago about them and referees and cheating or whatever it was he said. I don't remember exactly what he said. I think it was something to do with stealing or cheating. But you just know in the back of their minds they had this because there was so much passion. There was so much animosity. There was so much drama. I loved it. I loved every single second of it. Challenges were flying in hard. Players were trying just a bit more. And all I have to say is thank you, Lamine Yamal. This is the... You know what? I like this kind of stuff. I can't lie. I like this kind of stuff. And it is making me a big fan of his. It is making me a massive fan of his. Because I don't care about what he does off the pitch. I'm not a Barcelona fan. I couldn't care less. I care about what he does on the pitch as a football fan. And on the pitch, he is phenomenal. But when he does this kind of stuff off the pitch, when he adds spice and drama and that X factor and that little bit of entertainment to a big game, just even more so than there's already at stake, you just can't help but get involved more. You can't help but get more invested. And I gotta say, I love it. I absolutely love it. I love Carvajal leaving afters on Pedri. I love Jude Bellingham and every single midfielder scrapping it out in the middle of the park over a loose ball. I love it. It's just you don't see that stuff anymore. When was the last time Spanish teammates went at each other in El Clasico since Ramos has left? Since Ramos has left. The last time I saw a Spanish international go against a Spanish international in El Clasico was when Sergio Ramos was still playing at Real Madrid. It just don't happen anymore. Because everyone just wants to be buddy-buddy and everyone wants to be best friends. But this is what we need. Carvajal just coming in and leaving late. And it wasn't even malicious. He just kind of barged into him and pushed him over late in the game. And it's just like, yes, I want to see that. And if Barcelona's doing it to us as well, I want to see that. Do you know who else did this kind of stuff? Xavi. And unfortunately, Gavi's injured. Because Xavi used to add spice to these games as well. Lamine Yamal does his talking off the pitch, but he doesn't really do the talking on the pitch. On the pitch, he just lets his football do the talking, which is, I guess, the best thing you can really do. But he does this talking off the pitch. Man like Xavi, them kind of players, they leave it on the pitch as well. They're always going in for late tackles or trying to get involved in something nasty or trying to get someone annoyed and them kind of stuff. And you just want to see it. I want to see it in El Clasico. I want to see it. I mean, maybe I wouldn't have felt the same if we don't win. Let me just say that. Maybe I wouldn't have felt the same if we don't win. But we do win and I just enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed this game. It was such an entertaining, phenomenal game. There were so many back and forths. There were so many opportunities for both sides. We could have easily won this game 3-1 if Kylian Mbappe puts his opportunity away. We could have scored even more. But then so could have Barcelona. So could have Barcelona. But you had man like Fermin Lopez thinking he's the main character out here. Because there was, I think, 2 or 3 times in this game where Fermin Lopez was just straight through on goal. And it was 3-on-2. And he had a man on his left and he had a man on his right. And he had 2 Real Madrid defenders in no man's land. They couldn't go near him. They couldn't really keep too tight to the men out wide. They were just stuck in no man's land. We have to just keep backtracking until he decides to do something. And then we have to react. That's where we were. And it was more than once. It was a couple times. But both times, instead of laying it off left or laying it off right and getting an easy goal for Barcelona or a much better opportunity at the very least, he decided to be the main character and hit it right at Thibaut. Right at Thibaut. And chance gone, danger gone, no problems. But we also had opportunities. We also had chances. And obviously the penalty being the most obvious, but there were other chances. There was times when Vinny cut in and just wasn't able to get his shot off. There was that opportunity for Eder Militao. I was screaming, shoot. I've seen this guy with the tiniest finishes in training. I've seen him hit a banger just a few weeks ago in La Liga. He can shoot. He has a great strike of the ball. And yet, he is there in the perfect position to hit that finesse. Hit that finesse into the bottom corner. But instead of even looking at the goal, instead of even thinking about shooting, my man's waiting for the Barcelona defence to come back and then lay it off very poorly to, I think it was Tchouameni, and De Jong got back in time and the chance was gone. My man, you're through on goal. Eder, just shoot. Millie, just shoot. Like, no one's going to say anything to you if you miss. You created that from nothing. There was nothing there and you created a chance out of nothing just through your perseverance and your willingness to run and your work rate. Just have a pop. Just have a pop. There's no way on earth you're not at the very least hitting the target. Anyway, I very much enjoyed this game. Like I said, it was really, in a way, Jude Bellingham's Clasico once again. Bellingham, I saw earlier today, in the very first Clasicos, in his very first season, Jude Bellingham popped up with 2 90-minute winners. And today, he popped up with a beautiful assist for Kylian Mbappe, and then a phenomenal goal just by doing what he does, being in the right place at the right time. The tap-in merchant, Jude Bellingham, does it once again. How dare he be in the right place at the right time and have the ball just pop at his feet and let him just pass it into an open net. How dare he? How dare he? But yeah, it was a fantastic game. Carreras, I gotta say, Carreras was phenomenal because Lamine Yamal had a very quiet game. Their best player and their biggest danger man had a very quiet game, and it was because of Carreras. Not just him. The whole team was defending very well, but he did fantastic in his role. The one thing about Carreras that annoys me, the spread dilly-dallies on the ball too much. He dilly-dallies on the ball too much. I hate it. There's so many times, it's kind of like what Ceballos does. There's so many times, the pass is right there, it's openness in front of him. Instead of passing, he just looks at the man. He just looks at his teammate and they're locking eyes for a second, and romantic music is playing in the background and you have no clue what's going on, but in his head you just hear, I know he just hears some kind of soft, nice rom-com music playing, and then he just decides to either lose the ball or turn away from it. I don't understand why he doesn't just pass the ball. Just pass it to the free man that you're looking at. I don't get it. But besides that, he had a phenomenal game. Also, special shout out to Xabi Alonso. Special shout out to coach, manager Xabi Alonso, because not for what he did late in the game, because I didn't like it again. I don't like the fact that he took Vinny off. Rodrigo coming on, yeah, I get that, but Vinny was playing phenomenal, and Vinny didn't deserve to go off because Vinny was having a great game. We're not even going to talk too much about his reaction. Actually, let's just touch on it real quick. He should not have gone down the tunnel. He should not have gone down the tunnel. You can be angry about being subbed. Don't go down the tunnel. He obviously realised his mistake instantly because he came back and sat on the bench. But it's just going down the tunnel initially is just not a good look. Do you get me? But he took off Vinny. He took off Jude. He took off Mbappe. Brother, what do you do if they score? It's Barcelona. You're not playing Leganes or some next team at the bottom of La Liga. You're playing Barcelona. What if they score? And they nearly did if Koundé had a better chest control. You can't just take off every single best player and, oh, let's park the bus for the next 15 minutes of the game. I wasn't a fan of that. I didn't like that. But playing Camavinga at right wing, somehow it worked. I don't know how. I don't know why. Somehow it worked. And it was very good. So just for that reason, shout out to Alonso because that was phenomenal. But I am going to call the video there. At the end of the day, as big as a result as it is, it's only 3 points. There's a very long way to go in La Liga. And La Liga isn't won in El Clasicos. El Clasicos make a difference. But La Liga is not won based on those 2 games and those 6 points in El Clasico. They're based on what you do over 38 games. So a victory it is, 3 points it is, but that's all it is. We just got to keep focused and keep going until the next international break and the remainder of the season. But anyway, I'm going to call the video there. Thanks for watching and peace.